Hello and welcome to my channel where I do guides for ON1 Photo Raw 2019. I'm hoping I can get through this video because my voice is breaking up all the time. Anyway, we're gonna try. So what we're gonna do today is to try and blend pictures. If you have an overexposed image and you were actually shooting bracketing images with the exposure value like at 0 and then -1 or 2 stops down or whatever, chances are you have one good image or you have one underexposed image and then you have one overexposed image. It all depends on the exposure value. So I think that's 2 up, so it's 2 stops up. So that's actually overexposed, while this one is 2 stops down, so that's underexposed. You can see that by the exposure value up here. So I probably have a neutral one as well, but for this demo we are going to use one overexposed and one underexposed. So let's just start doing this blending. So we can select 2 or more images actually and right click and choose to open as layers. Yeah, there we go, open as layers. Then you get this message here and just click OK. So these images, this one is, as I said, overexposed and this one is slightly underexposed. It was a real bright day, so my mistake is the top exposure value here, the +2 exposure value. That's my problem in this image, really. I think the sky is probably, yeah, it's not too bad actually. But we are gonna pretend that it's no hope for this image. So we are actually going to make this our base image. So this is the image we want to keep. And I'm gonna process it slightly here and try and get it to where I want it. And then I'm gonna process the underexposed image, the sky, to where I want to get it, and we're gonna blend them. So let's just start. I'm gonna go down on the highlights and I'm actually gonna go up on the white point. So ignore the sky now, so that's not interesting at all. I'm just gonna add, or I'm just gonna activate the clipping warning. So you can see that I'm clipping right away on that dock. Let's go up slightly again. Yeah. So there's not a lot I can do about those whites, it's brutal. But I think I'm safe at 1, so I'm gonna use what I can here. And the shadows I probably don't need to do anything with yet. I'm gonna increase the contrast. And I'm actually gonna go and do some structure. I like to do structure on textures like this. Let's go down on the blacks. So this was a really warm day, even though this is winter. If you look here in the corner down here, you can see ice. So I'm gonna check if I go up or down on the white balance here. So I'm thinking maybe around there. And let's go for some magenta maybe. Not too much because it's gonna be visible right away. So yeah, to around here. Okay, so I would say that the base is okay now. I probably need some more contrast, and yeah, then it's okay. So now we're gonna go and do the top one. So I'm just gonna activate that, and this on this image it's the sky that I want to keep, so I'm gonna process this for the sky. So I'm just gonna go maybe up a bit on the whites, even more here. Can even go up a bit on the shadows, I think. And let's put some contrast into this sky. And I kind of want to go, yeah, it's going to be a really blue sky. You know what, let's set the white balance the same as this one. That makes more sense to me. 2 and 22, okay. This one to 2. And this one to 22. Yeah, I think that's gonna be fine. Let's go up on the whites even more here. It's crushed over on the darks, so I need to do something. That's a lot. Let's go up on the exposure. I think we're actually pretty close now. So this image, it wasn't terribly underexposed, but you see how much I need to go up on the whites there, and if I push the blacks, it's just going to be back at where we are. So for more control, maybe it makes sense to do this kind of blending. I don't need structure because it's a sky, so I see no point in doing structure. So let's go up, 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 up. I think we're close there. I went up one step, so let's go down and check. Yeah, I think maybe this is still a bit too bright, so we need to go down just a little bit on that one. Just so we can get feeling that there is actually a sun setting behind there, because the sun are actually setting there. So I'm gonna go down nearly one step, I think. And you can see we are bringing out the sky, but because we go down this much, we're gonna have some color noise in the sky. So if I were to print this image, that might have ruined it. But this is just a demonstration either way, so don't take it too serious here. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that sky is a bit too dark actually. So yeah, let's go to around there maybe. Okay, so now we gonna have to brush out the sky on the other image there. So I'm gonna disable this one and go down here. And while I'm on the mask here, I'm gonna use my brush and I'm gonna brush out what's on top here. So you don't need to use 100 opacity if you want to blend them pretty well and maybe not have any problems down around trees and everything. You might want to use another opacity there. There might be many reasons why you would use another opacity. So I'm bleeding into the foreground. That's not good, as it's actually this part I want to keep. And to make this really speedy, you could use a gradient with a really big feather. That will probably work really well. Okay, I was touching that a little bit. Just gonna go quickly here. Oops. So in this case, it would probably make more sense to use the AI or something like that, but let's pretend that there's a bunch of trees around there, then it probably wouldn't work all that well. This is both water and clouds, so using a luminance filter or mask would probably also give you some problems. Okay, so yeah, it's still a bit over here. Okay, so let's put them together now, and boom, we have our blended image. So this is a really good way. So if I want to lift the shadows over here, and this is the underexposed image, so if I want to lift out details over there, I would probably create some kind of noise, right? So one thing that would make sense is to actually go down on the opacity and just paint out. For some reason I can't go down. Okay. And just brush out the parts you want to have kind of a highlight, if you know what I mean. I'm just gonna check the mask here one more time. So yeah, it's pretty good actually. Let's see, am I doing... No, this is wrong. I need to go to the other one. So let's go up on the top here. And now I can paint out carefully here. So this is the darkest image. So if I go like this, you can clearly see that I'm painting out. I'm going to do the opacity at full here. So if I go like this, you can see that I'm bringing in the foreground, or sorry, the midish ground from the picture under here, from the overexposed image. And we had toned that image pretty good, so we have actually brought down the exposure, so we have details in the shadows over there. So this is a really excellent way to bring out and have control over what you want inside of ON1 Photo Raw 2019. So if you don't want to make a HDR image, and I often don't want to do that, believe it or not, I almost never do HDRs. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go back and undo, because I don't want the brush at 100. Yeah, so this is an excellent way to take control over your pictures. You would of course need to spend a little more time on this probably than I'm doing right now. I just want to demonstrate this to you. And the sweet thing now is that you can actually kind of focus stack as well. So if you want to blend two pictures and do this method, you can focus, like, let's say you focus around here and you have this f-stop at f9 to f16 or something. So it's going to be pretty sharp in the foreground. And if you focus stack or focus on the sky or the background is also going to be pretty sharp. So it's a big advantage to do your work like this, and you can see that it kind of matches actually very well together. It didn't require a lot of job. So at this point I would of course make sure that this works, and I would go in at 100% and make sure that it actually works. And if it does, I would go to the layers up here and I would actually go and create a new stamped layer, because then you have access to those two layers all the time. You can't go back and change stuff in them. It won't be shown on the top layer, but you can always remove the top layer and go create a new stamp layer. So it's a really sweet way to work, in my opinion. I don't know what I'm doing. I wasn't supposed to do this, but let's just add the standard things I usually add. So those two filters, let's do the glow just quickly. And we have the dynamic contrast. Yeah, and that's almost a done picture. Works really sweet. So should we do one more? I think we're going to do one more. It's basically going to be kind of the same image, but let's just do it one more time so I can make sure that I cover most part of it. I'm guessing this video is dragging out already, so let's just be real quickly about those two. So I'm gonna do the same procedure as last year, James. I'm gonna do the same procedure as our last picture. I'm sorry, I'm sounding weird and everything. I got a fever, so I'm not entirely focused here. Anyway, open as layers. Yeah, thank you. Let's click OK. So this is of course overexposed. And it's really overexposed. Yeah, that's the top layer, and that's kind of underexposed over there. So you can see how badly overexposed this is. Hopefully it's not too overexposed that I can still have some details in the snow here. I can show you how we could blend it even though this is overexposed. So it wouldn't be a problem really. All I want out of here is maybe this tree line going over here and nothing from the snow, or maybe just a little from the snow. So let's just process this really quickly here. So I'm going to increase the contrast, I'm going to up the shadows just a little bit and go down on the blacks. Yeah, I'm going to go up just a tad on the white balance. I don't want to go up too high though, and I want to pull in some greens here, but not too much. I don't want to turn the snow into green, so let's try it there. I'm going up on both the saturation and the vibrance, not that much. That was A bit too much, to be honest. So I see it's kind of hazy, even though it's no haze there. So I'm just gonna drop down the haze just a little bit. And I'm gonna make sure I still have details over here. So let's go up just a bit on the shadows. And let's check in here. Yeah, it's pretty detailed in there. If you look here, you can see snow inside of that little tree line. So that's good. I'm actually going to decrease the exposure just a little bit to get it to that magic point. Yeah, let's leave it there. Okay, so that's this one. I'm not gonna do anything more. I'm just gonna check. Yeah, it still has some blown highlights, so now I know this before I go into the next one. I can try and drop the highlights. Yeah, that worked. So I should have details around here now. So that's really sweet. And we're gonna go up and edit the top one. Just gonna copy the white balance there. -6, 7, 14. -6, 7. So there are probably better ways to do this kind of work. I'm not used to working like this, but I've done it a few times. Anyway, I'm gonna go up on the highlights. So no, let's not go up on the highlights. Let's go up on the exposure just a little bit, and then the white. So I'm gonna enable the clipping view. So you see inside here I would need to push the shadows a lot, and that would mean that I would bring out some noise. Let's bring up the shadows. Okay, so I'm especially looking at the snow and the top sky, so I'm thinking I can use the snow but just paint in the mid-ground there and use it from the other image here. Yeah, let's paint it out on this mask. Let's go up on the opacity to around 70. Let's try that first. I need to be more accurate than the last picture, I think, maybe. So I see it's a bit bright, so I need to lower the exposure on the underlying layer. And yeah, I didn't do a good job there, that's for sure. So let's go in on this one, and I'm just gonna go down just a little bit on the exposure, like that maybe. Let's go down a bit on the blacks. Let's pull some haze in to the tree lines, and I actually wanna kind of paint in some sharpening, or I don't need to paint it in. So sharpening there, and I'm just gonna try with the glow again. So let's do normal. Yeah, and that kind of works. I like it a lot. So now let's go up on the top image here, and I think I'm gonna paint out parts of the snow here. So let's do that. So I'm bringing up the brush, and I'm gonna go down on the opacity to maybe something around there. And I'm gonna use a really big brush and just gonna paint in the underlying layer. So I could go up on the opacity. So I'm just gonna go over down here one more time. Just try and get that underlying layer. I don't know what to call it. Let's call it our highlight layer. I want to get more details from our highlight layer. I actually don't like the blue over here. Yeah, let's paint out there. So it's terribly yellow places here, so I would maybe go in and do a desaturation filter on the snow here, because it's a bit too warm. It should be a bit more blue there. Anyway, this is a nice way to work. So if we go into, oops, not this one, the other one. So this is with busted highlights over here. It's not looking real nice, to be honest. And this is with the new sky and our tree line over here. So that's really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Just gonna paint in just some of the dark stuff back here. And I'm not sure if you realize, but this is actually dodge and burn, because I have the layer under this layer which has the darker tones. So I'm just painting in where I want it to be a bit darker. So maybe over here. Maybe it would be natural to have it a bit darker over there. Just by doing this technique, I have total control over my images. And of course, you can also do it with 3 or more images. It's up to you. So I hope that I demonstrated this technique good enough and that you get something from it. And this video dragged out, and they always do, but I'm sorry about that. Anyway, if you like this video, just hit it with that thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. And have a really excellent day, and thanks for watching.